Have you ever noticed how some people seem to stay vibrant and full of energy well into their 60s, 70s, and even beyond? Meanwhile, others start slowing down, feeling tired, and dealing with more health issues. What's the difference? The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean feeling weak, sluggish, or out of breath. Your heart, the engine that keeps everything running, has the ability to stay strong and young, no matter your age. But, like any engine, it needs the right care. If you've ever felt winded going up a flight of stairs, noticed your endurance isn't what it used to be, or worried about your heart health, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about simple, doctor-approved ways to keep your heart young after 60. These are small changes that can make a big difference, helping you stay active, enjoy your favorite activities, and live life to the fullest. So, let's start with one of the most powerful things you can do for your heart, moving your body in the right way. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Exercise. At my age, I'm not trying to run a marathon. And guess what? You don't have to. But here's the thing. Your heart is a muscle. And just like any muscle, it needs regular movement. To stay strong, the key is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to spend hours at the gym or push yourself to exhaustion. In fact, studies show that even something as simple as a brisk 30-minute walk most days of the week can do wonders for your heart. It helps keep your arteries flexible, lowers blood pressure, and improves circulation, making sure oxygen and nutrients reach every part of your body. And if walking isn't your thing, that's okay. You can dance in your living room, do some light stretching, swim, or even garden. The goal is to keep your body moving in a way that feels good. Just imagine this. Instead of feeling winded when you walk up a hill, you breeze through it effortlessly. Instead of feeling drained by midday, you have the energy to do the things you love. That's the power of movement. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you, your diet. You've probably heard 1,000 times that eating healthy is important, but let's get specific. One of the best things you can do for your heart is to focus on foods that fight inflammation. Why? Because inflammation is one of the biggest hidden enemies of heart health. Think of it like this. If your arteries were roads, inflammation would be like cracks and potholes. Over time, they get worse, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly. This is why eating the right foods isn't just about cutting back on salt or avoiding fried foods. It's about adding more heart-friendly options to your plate. Foods like salmon, walnuts, leafy greens, and berries are packed with nutrients that help protect your arteries. Even something as simple as adding a handful of almonds to your day can make a difference. And if you love your morning coffee or tea, good news! Research shows that moderate amounts can actually be good for your heart. Now, I know changing eating habits can feel overwhelming, but here's the trick. Start small. Maybe swap white bread for whole grain, or try adding an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner. Tiny changes add up, and before you know it, you're giving your heart exactly what it needs to stay young and strong. But there's something else we need to talk about. Stress. Because no matter how well you eat or how much you move, if you're constantly stressed, your heart feels it. When stress becomes a daily part of life, your body stays in a state of high alert, raising your blood pressure, increasing inflammation, and putting extra strain on your heart. And let's be honest, life after 60 comes with its own set of challenges. Whether it's health concerns, financial worries, or just adjusting to new routines, stress can sneak in without you even realizing it. But here's the good news. You have the power to manage it. Something as simple as deep breathing, listening to music, or spending time with loved ones can help lower stress levels. Even laughter, yes. Laughing has been shown to relax blood vessels and improve circulation. So, the next time you feel tension creeping in, take a deep breath, call a friend, or watch something that makes you laugh. Your heart will thank you. Now that we've talked about movement, diet, and stress, let's dive into another crucial part of keeping your heart young: sleep. You might not think of sleep as something that directly affects your heart, but let me tell you, it does. And not just a little, it plays a huge role. Well, think about it. Sleep is when your body does its repair work. It's like taking your car in for maintenance. If you skip those tune-ups, things start breaking down. The same thing happens to your heart when you don't get enough quality sleep. Maybe you've noticed that your sleep patterns have changed as you've gotten older. You wake up earlier than you used to, or you find yourself tossing and turning more at night. That's actually pretty normal. But what's not normal or healthy is constantly running on 5 or 6 hours of sleep and thinking, well, that's just the way it is. Poor sleep raises your blood pressure, increases stress hormones, and makes your heart work harder than it needs to. It's no surprise that people who consistently sleep less than 6 hours a night are at a higher risk for heart disease. The good news, there are simple ways to improve your sleep, and they don't involve sleeping pills or complicated routines. One of the best things you can do is set a consistent bedtime. Your body loves routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your internal clock. And here's a little trick. Avoid screens at least an hour before bed. The blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, making it harder to fall asleep. Instead, try reading, listening to calm music, or doing a relaxing activity before bed. And let's talk about what you eat and drink before bedtime. Heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol can all interfere with deep sleep. If you tend to wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and struggle to fall back asleep, try cutting back on caffeine in the afternoon and limiting alcohol before bed. You might be surprised at how much better you rest. Now, moving on to something that often gets overlooked: hydration. Staying hydrated might not sound like the most exciting heart health tip, but trust me, it's a game changer. Your blood is about 90% water, and when you're even mildly dehydrated, your heart has to work harder to pump it through your body. Have you ever felt sluggish, dizzy, or even a little forgetful? Dehydration could be to blame. And here's the thing. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already running low on fluids. That's why it's so important to drink water regularly throughout the day. Now, if plain water isn't your favorite, no problem. Herbal tea, infused water with lemon or cucumber, and even foods with high water content, like watermelon, oranges, and cucumbers, can help keep you hydrated. Just try to avoid sugary drinks and excessive caffeine, which can dehydrate you even more. And if you're worried about having to get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, here's a tip. Front-load your water intake. Drink most of your fluids earlier in the day and slow down in the evening. That way, you stay hydrated without disrupting your sleep. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: staying connected. You might not think of social connections as something that affects your heart, but research shows that loneliness and isolation can be just as harmful as smoking or a poor diet. In fact, people who feel lonely have a higher risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and even early death. Why? Because human connection helps lower stress, reduce inflammation, and even regulate blood pressure. Having people to talk to, laugh with, and share your life with keeps you emotionally and physically healthier. Now, I know making new connections later in life can feel a little intimidating. Maybe your social circle has gotten smaller, or you don't see friends as often as you used to. But staying connected doesn't have to mean going to big social events or forcing yourself into uncomfortable situations. It can be as simple as calling an old friend, joining a community group, or even chatting with neighbors when you take a walk. And if you enjoy technology, there are so many ways to stay connected online. Virtual book clubs, hobby groups, and even video calls with family members can help you feel more connected, no matter where you are. The key is to find what works for you, something that feels natural and enjoyable. The best part? Building relationships doesn't just help your heart, it makes life more enjoyable. Because at the end of the day, what really makes life meaningful isn't just how long we live, but how much we enjoy the time we have. We've talked about movement, diet, stress, sleep, hydration, and the importance of staying connected. But there's one more thing we need to discuss: your mindset. If there's one thing that separates people who stay vibrant and full of life from those who feel old before their time, it's not just their habits, it's the way they think. Your mindset has a direct impact on your health, your energy, and yes, even your heart. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who's in their 60s or 70s but still acts and feels like they're in their 40s? They try new things, stay curious, and see life as an adventure. And then on the other hand, there are people who seem to shut down as they age. They stop trying, stop learning, and start telling themselves they're too old for certain things. Which one do you think has a healthier heart? Science backs this up. Studies show that people with a positive outlook on aging have a lower risk of heart disease, live longer, and even recover faster from illnesses. Why? Because when you believe in your ability to stay active, engaged, and healthy, you're more likely to make choices that support that belief. You move more, eat better, and take care of yourself. And in turn, your heart stays stronger. So, how do you keep a youthful mindset? It starts with challenging those little thoughts that hold you back. The next time you catch yourself thinking, "I'm too old for that," stop and ask yourself, who says? Who decided that at a certain age you have to stop dancing or learning or trying new things? The answer is no one. The only limits are the ones we place on ourselves. Maybe you've always wanted to try painting, but you've never picked up a brush. Or maybe you've thought about learning a new language, taking up a new hobby, or traveling somewhere new. Why not now? Keeping your mind engaged and open to new experiences doesn't just make life more interesting. It literally helps keep your brain and heart young. And speaking of new experiences, there's one more thing you can do that has a powerful impact on your heart. Practicing gratitude. Now, I know this might sound simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to lower stress, improve sleep, and even reduce inflammation in the body. When you take a moment each day to focus on what's good in your life, whether it's your health, your family, or even something as simple as a beautiful sunset, you shift your focus away from stress and negativity. And that shift has a direct effect on your heart. It lowers your blood pressure, reduces cortisol levels, and helps your entire body function better. Try this. Before you go to bed tonight, think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big, just little moments that brought you joy. Maybe it was a good conversation, a delicious meal, or a kind gesture from a stranger. The more you focus on the good, the more your heart benefits. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. Keeping your heart young after 60 isn't about making drastic changes or following complicated routines. It's about small, simple habits that add up over time. Moving your body, eating heart-healthy foods, managing stress, getting good sleep, staying hydrated, staying connected, and keeping a positive mindset. The best part? You don't have to do everything at once. Just start with one change. Maybe today, you decide to go for a short walk. Tomorrow, you swap out a processed snack for something more nutritious. The day after, you take a few deep breaths when you feel stressed. Every small step adds up, and before you know it, you'll feel stronger, more energized, and more in control of your health. And remember, your age is just a number. It doesn't define what you can or can't do. You have the power to take charge of your heart health, stay active, and enjoy life to the fullest. So, if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. What's one small change you're going to start today? I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more tips on staying healthy and vibrant at any age, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here's to a strong heart and a life full of energy, no matter your age.